High school football from across the desert Southwest is here. Varsity Blitz starts right now.
You're watching Varsity Blitz on 13 on your side.
Week 9 of the Varsity Blitz. I'm Scott Gross, joined alongside Luis Lopez. Excited to have you a part of the show, Luis. From the sidelines to the headlines. It's the last time that I'm going to say that. Let's get the show started, shall we?
Sounds good, Scott. Excited to be a part of the show. As always, we start in Holtville for a huge Desert League showdown between Vincent Memorial and Holtville. The Vikings started the season winning their first 5 games in a row. But since, they've lost their past 2, including a 40-8 road loss last week at Palo Verde Valley.
Now, on the flip side, Vincent Memorial is just the opposite. The Scots lost their first 2 games, but now have won 5 in a row and stand tied with Palo Verde at 2-0 in the Desert League. Tonight, 2 different styles clash. Would it be Vincent Memorial's spread offense or Holtville's ground and pound? The Scots paying a visit to the Vikings as Vincent can stay unbeaten in the Desert League if the recent Road Warrior trend continues tonight. First possession of the game, keeper Jacobo Elias trying to find Armando Apodaca. Instead, it's going to be picked off and taken the other way, fighting through tacklers before finally being brought down after a 17-yard return for the Vikings. But the Scots would return the favor. Quarterback Spencer Hilfiker trying to hit up Roger Rolfe, but Max Ascaloni steps in front of it for the interception and then gets brought down by Seth Eiton. Both defenses off to a good start. Next, Vincent Memorial possession. Elias trying to get something going, tucks the ball, rolls to the near sideline, finally gets brought down after a 20-yard pickup. Later in the drive, it's going to be Elias again trying to go back to the passing game, but he's going to get picked off again, this time by Peyton Eiton, who fights off the tackle attempt by an O-lineman, goes towards the other sideline before finally being taken down after a 25-yard return. Now, even though he probably ran closer to 50 yards in that play, the Vikings would capitalize. Hilfiker maneuvers in the pocket and tosses the rock to Roger Rolfe, who makes the catch right into your living room for the first score of the game. The Vikes would get the 2-point conversion and take an early 16-0 lead. The game would get high scoring, but Holtville would prevail 43-27.
A big IVL game at Cal Jones Field as Central looking to keep pace with Brawley, hosting the Imperial Tigers, looking to knock off the Spartans from their perch. Central's opening possession, and they are on the move. Damian Rodriguez is going to throw this one over to the end zone, but he overshoots Charlie Sullivan and the Tigers' Devin Mesa with the diving interception. Both teams struggling to move the ball after an Imperial punt. Central returns the favor. Imperial's Seth Shaw with the fair catch there. Imperial's drive would stall. Central taking over in the second quarter. Rodriguez with the give up the middle. Imperial is there to shut it down. Back to the Tiger offense. Reese Vindiola throws to his right and is just off the mark to Jesse Nichols. Central's Jared Martin nearly comes down with the pick. It was another hard-fought battle in the Valley, but Central comes away with the 28-7 victory. They are now 2-0 in the IVL and look to catch Brawley next week, who will be on a bye.
Yeah, they'll be on a bye. Here's Brawley now to Warren Field Thursday night as the Brawley Wildcats looking for their 7th straight win, hosting the Calexico Bulldogs. Opening drive of the game after Calexico fumbled the kickoff. Brawley inside the 10. Junior quarterback Ethan Gutierrez takes it himself behind the right side of the line. Gutierrez with the 8-yard score. Brawley strikes first, extra points good. Now, after a Calexico punt, Brawley on the move again. This time Gutierrez around the left side for a first down inside the 5. On the very next play, it's Isaiah Young off right tackle finding Pater. Brawley up 13-0 late in the first. They would miss the extra point. Brawley band rocking in the stands. Next Calexico possession, David Esker rolls to his right, throws over the middle. You'll see it right here. Ooh, picked out by number 25, Matthew Moreno, who returns it to the Bulldog 2-yard line. Nice job by the freshman. Again, Isaiah Young finishes the drive with his second touchdown of the first quarter. 20-0 Cats. Student body, they're loving it. Early second quarter after a Bulldog punt, Gutierrez throws it deep down the near sidelines and finds McKay Washington, and Washington does the rest. He is loose. A 50-yard score for Brawley. They're rolling 27-0. Calexico had a hard time getting anything going. Senior Ernesto Sanchez, though, shows off his moves. Look at this long run. Zigs back and forth. Looks like a little water bug. He was one of the few bright spots for the Dogs in the first half. Brawley wins convincingly 48-7 and are now 3-0 in the IVL with a bye, as you mentioned, next week.
In our next highlight of the night, the Antelope Rams are seeking their third straight win as they host Madison Highland, hoping to bring some of that fire down from the mountains to the field. Madison Highland first possession, and quarterback Joseph Luno slings one over the middle, and whoop, tip drill alert, picked off by Antelope's Keelan Regals and takes it inside the Heat's 40-yard line. Rams with the ball now. Jonathan Whitley fires a screen pass to Miguel Carrillo, who takes off inside the 5-yard line before being pushed out. The Rams go on to score just a couple plays later. Now on to the Heat's next drive. Luno nowhere to go, and he's wrapped up by several Antelope defenders for the sack. Couple plays later, Luno again feeling the pressure, and that's Martin Hernandez chasing him down like a cat and drags him down for a sack at midfield. And it doesn't get better for Luno and the Heat. He drops back and launches it deep down the field, and Jonathan Whitley standing there in his 6'5" frame to pick it off for the Rams' second interception. On to the next drive. Here's Whitley, who returns the favor back to the Heat, throwing the pick into the hands of a Madison Highland defender, but that wouldn't sting too bad as the Rams, they take care of business on the defensive side of the ball and win their third straight.
And that wraps up our first segment of the Varsity Blitz, but don't go anywhere as we have the Yuma area schools coming up next.
That's right. Highlights from Cibola, Gila Ridge, and Kofa, along with our out-of-town scoreboard and today's best. This is the Varsity Blitz.
You're watching Varsity Blitz on 13 on your side.
Our fall mattress event is on at Sleep More. Inside more furniture for less. Save on premium mattress brands like Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster.
And for a limited time, you'll get a free bedding bundle gift,
Including 2 Tempur-Pedic pillows with cooling technology, a sheet set, and bed protector.
You can also take advantage of our 72-month interest-free special financing.
Visit Sleep More inside more furniture for less to find your perfect night's sleep at the best value.
Breaking news first. Extreme weather first. Border issues first. Agriculture first. Exclusive stories first. If it affects you, your family, your wallet, or your health.
13 on your side. First at 4.
Join Mercedes Martinez. 13 on your side. It's all first at 4 p.m.
Welcome to 13 on your side.
Your dream adventure vehicle is waiting during Quichan Casino Resort's $75,000 off-road giveaway. Earn entries every day from October 1st to the 23rd for your chance to win a 2021 Polaris or Can-Am. Then join us Saturdays, October 9th and 23rd for hourly drawings from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. 11 winners each drawing day will have the opportunity to take home cash or a 2021 off-road vehicle. So much, so close. Quichan Casino Resort.
When kids need medical care, they will often face stressful and life-changing experiences. From complex treatments to long hospital stays, these special patients miss out on the things that most kids take for granted and let kids be kids. That's where Starlight Children's Foundation comes in. Since 1982, Starlight Children's Foundation has transformed the in-hospital experience for more than 17 million seriously ill kids in 800 children's hospitals and facilities across the United States. Our state-of-the-art programs like Starlight Virtual Reality, Starlight Hospital Wear, and Starlight Gaming let kids just be kids, if even for a few moments. Whether donning an action figure gown instead of standard hospital issue, or settling into gamer mode, if it brings a smile, a laugh, or just a break from their reality, it's happiness delivered. Learn more at starlight.org. That's starlight.org.
You're watching Varsity Blitz. The best highlights, the best plays, continuing right now.
You're watching Varsity Blitz on 13 on your side.
Hopeville fans jazzed up, and welcome back to the Varsity Blitz. Scott Gross along with Luis Lopez. Now, after an 0-3 start, the Cibola Raiders look to climb back to 500 tonight at 3-3 against the Tolleson Wolverines.
Yeah, Scott, the Raiders haven't beaten the Wolverines since 2015. That's when Cibola head coach was an assistant. Tonight, he looked for his first against Tolleson as a head coach. The Wolverines won the past 2 meetings.
Let's go out there. Raider Field with Cibola looking for their first win since 2015, as we mentioned, against Tolleson Wolverines and head coach Rick Welbrock. The last time these teams played was 2019. First drive of the game, and it's the Wolverines quarterback Isaac Madrigal with the dump pass over the middle. Demarion Postel and the 6'4" junior does the rest. A 46-yard touchdown. Tolleson goes up 7-0 after the extra point. Cibola looking to answer. Senior quarterback Andre Acosta rolls to his left, finds junior wide receiver Isaiah Areola. Areola makes a nice move and scampers down the sideline. Now, moments later, Acosta tosses to his right and finds Adrian Molina for the score. Cibola missed the extra point. They trail 7-6. Tolleson's next drive from their own 35, and the give is to Xavier Marshall off the right end. He finds a little daylight and is gone. 65 yards for the score. Wolverines back up 14-6. End of the first quarter now. Raiders down 21-6. Acosta swings the pass out to Tevin Miller, and the junior tailback has a lot of real estate in front of him. First down, Raiders. Now they're going to start the second quarter here. Acosta will roll to his left and finds the big fella, Alonzo Quintero, and Quintero makes a nice move, then smashes his way to the goal line for the 21-yard touchdown. Cibola down 21-12. The Raiders, though, would go on to lose this one by a score of 56-19.
All right, over to Irv Pollock Field now, where the Kofa Kings took on the Canyon View Jaguars. Kings, well, they're still looking for their first win of the year as they sit at 0-5 on the season. First drive of the game for Canyon View, 3rd and long. Senior quarterback Anthony Pina is going to fire to his running back Trey Guerra, who takes it upfield for 20 yards, but he's met by the Kings junior safety Vittorio Medina. Kofa forces a 4th down. The Jags would go for it, however, on 4th and 8. Pina is going to roll out to his right, but he cannot get the pass off to Guerra. Kofa defense with a turnover on downs to start the game. First offensive possession for Kofa now. On 3rd down, they hand it off to running back Ashton Garola, who is downed in the end zone. Jaguars defense comes up with the safety. Canyon View goes up 2-0. Jaguars on the following possession, well, they would make Kofa pay. Pina fires it off to sophomore wideout Santino Varvel, who takes it in for the 35-yard touchdown. The Jaguars would go on to run away with this one. They take down Kofa by a score of 56-0.
To Gila Ridge, Jessica Slaughter coming up her first career win as a head coach, leading the Hawks versus a tough Northwest Christian squad. On homecoming night, first play from scrimmage for Northwest Christian turns into a big play as Kyler Thurston gets the edge and takes it all the way inside the Gila Ridge 25-yard line. And just 3 plays later, they're going to call Thruston's number yet again. Yeah, he gets the edge and bounces outside, walks into the end zone for the first score of the game. Now, after a block punt for a touchdown and another Crusader score, Hawks are down 21-0 and looking to gain ground. Leonardo Valencia rifles a pass to Jonathan Noriega for the first down and more as he cuts back inside for a big first down. But the drive would eventually come to an end, and here's Valencia trying to find space, and he takes a huge hit out of bounds. Flag comes in, but he's going to stay down injured, and that would give way to backup quarterback Richard Bean, and didn't get any better for the Hawks. Bean, there he is, warming up. He's getting in, and Bean, he's going to get bounced. Yeah, he's going to have his pass picked off by Northwest Christian's Cole Martin. That would be the story of the night for Gila Ridge, who trailed 35-0 at the half. They go on to fall by a score of 42-7. Let's take a look right now at our out-of-town scoreboard.
Yeah, Scott, Southwest against Palo Verde Valley, dropping that one 48-20. Calipatria and Mountain Empire, well, Calipatria would lose 27-0 as they get shut out. Yuma and Carl Hayden taking place. Carl Hayden running away with that one, 48-14. Yuma Catholic just edging out River Valley, 29-26.
Big game for Yuma Catholic because now they could have 2 home games during the playoffs. Let's take a look at the scoreboards. These are games that we brought you already. Holtville a winner along with Brawley Central in there a winner as well. We also had Kofa falling today, Cibola falling, but Antelope out in Welton, they won. That brings us now to today's best, the best plays that we had throughout the area. And there's one of our masters, that is Marina in the control room. Thank you to her. Thank you to George. Thank you to everybody. Rob Fram. We had Adonis Albright help us with scores. There's so many people that we have to thank. Jonathan Busco helps out with stats. You, Louise. We got Cole Johnson. There are so many people. We had Joe was out in Antelope shooting games today too. So a fantastic job by everybody.
Yeah, seriously, Scott. Just the show really is a team effort, and I'm happy to be on board now and hosting with you going forward. So.
Week 9 is in the books. It was another fantastic one. A lot of great plays you can see here from across the Desert Southwest. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Stephen Colbert is next.